On July 18th, we enter into Mercury retrograde, which is in the sign of both Cancer, the tail end, and then predominantly in the sign of Leo. And this retrograde runs until August 11th. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the ways in which you can support yourself through this energetic cosmic alignment and transition that is happening. My name is Carolyn Marie Yakopich. If you're new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and remember to subscribe for more content like this. So whenever we are experiencing a retrograde, it is a time for us to slow down. It is a time for us to rest, recalibrate, reevaluate. It really is an invitation to pause and to start to work with the energies of the particular planet that is in retrograde. So in this case, it's Mercury. I know Mercury retrograde gets a bad rap a lot of the time, where people think it is a bad time to travel, it is a bad time to sign contracts. And I've had experiences in my life where I've done some very off the wall things during Mercury retrogrades. Like, for instance, I ran my first international women's retreat during a time when Mercury was not only in retrograde, but 5 other planets were in retrograde all at that same time. So talk about lessons and challenges and experiences that really were eye-opening. So it's not that it cannot be done, it's just that bringing more awareness into whatever energies are present are going to help it be a more effortless and graceful experience through the retrograde that is happening. I've also listed my home for sale signing contracts, right, during a retrograde time. So there are ways where we can still function and do these things, traveling, signing contracts and such during a Mercury retrograde. It really is about being very aware and I was going to use the word cautious, but it's more so bringing more attention to detail is what I was looking for to come through. So what can happen during Mercury retrograde? So Mercury is all about communication. It's about travel and the communication that we are relaying, what we are speaking. It's about bringing more focus and awareness to the words we speak so that we are coming from a place of being present and conscious, right? So many times we speak unconsciously, or we speak from, a dumping of the subconscious mind where it's like we're on automatic. And this is really a time to fully engage in our conversations and to recognize, are we fully present with the other person? Because with a retrograde, sometimes it can jumble up words, it can jumble up the communication pathways. So I may be saying one thing and it may be intended to relay a certain message, and it's being received by the other person in a completely different way through their own processing and projections and filtration system that they are receiving on the other end. So really being clear about what we're saying, and sometimes that will require a little bit more of an explanation. Another great thing that can really be helpful is having heart-to-hearts during Mercury retrograde to really share from the space that you're in, to really be open and vulnerable and raw about where you're at, what you're feeling, and what is going on for you. And that will help the other person on the other end to fully understand what it is that you are sharing. So this is when we're talking about relationships and deeper conversations, right? So using the I statements as the speaker is beneficial. It's always beneficial, but at this time during Mercury retrograde, it's even more enhanced. So speaking from the I feel this, and I am going through this, and I am experiencing this, and I meant this by what I said, right? It's really being clear and responsible and owning the words and owning the feelings and the emotions and the, relay of what you want to say, owning up to all of it as taking responsibility for what it is that you're saying and what it is you're feeling without putting it on the other person or projecting it, or keeping it in a space of open-endedness where they may not be receiving it correctly, and it may cause some unwanted strife or unwanted complications or conflicts, right? So really bringing our own presence, our own awareness into the conversation. Now, on the flip side, if you are the listener, if you are the person receiving the message, with the greater awareness of us being in this Mercury retrograde at this time, again from July 18th till August 11th. And remember, there's a shadow phase, meaning there is a little bit of a pre-wave that happens before, so you may already be experiencing it. I know about 2 videos before this, I was doing a reading and like the downloads were coming through so quickly that like I was jumbling up my words, and I said, I know Mercury retrograde must be coming up soon. Like, it's like I could feel it already. So there is that pre-wave a little bit before and a little bit after. They say about a week before, a week after. Everyone's different in how they experience these cosmic transitions. So it's something to be mindful of, that you may already be experiencing it as well. So if you are this receiver, if you are listening, how present can you be with the other person? And having the awareness of it being Mercury retrograde time, it's an invitation to ask more questions. If you're uncertain of what they mean, or if they are explaining something and you're taking it a certain way and you may be triggered, or you're feeling something that's offending you, or whatever it is, right? Ask for more clarity. Be fully present with the other person speaking and ask the questions necessary to receive the full clarity of what is being said. And this can help to eliminate any of those conflicts that may arise or the misunderstandings in communication. And again, if it's not a heart-to-heart and it is, say a business meeting, all of this applies. Ask more questions, be fully present when you're listening, and be fully present when you are speaking and sharing whatever it is that you're sharing. And really, another helpful thing that you can do at this time is, if you're going to have a conversation where you want to ask questions, or you need certain answers about something, to start writing things down before you actually have the conversation. If you're making a phone call, to just be really clear and direct about what it is that you're saying, so that it can be received in the appropriate way what you're sharing. So the other thing that we are going to keep in mind with this retrograde, as I said before, it's a time of rest, of relaxation, recalibration, of resetting our energy, reevaluating our direction. And this will all be around the sign that the retrograde is in. So at the beginning, it will be in Cancer. And we're still in Cancer season right now. So we're still working with that feminine mother energy. So this could have a lot to do with our boundaries. It could have a lot to do with over giving, or not being able to receive, right? So there are all different parts of this archetype that may be present. It could be a lot of our emotions that are coming up, and is it something that we need to speak into? Is it something that we are required to share if it involves another person, or is this something that we are processing and then taking that reset and space and time to really clear out the emotions that we need to allow through us, right? Because if we don't allow the emotions and we resist them, they just get stuffed down and it's a repression. And then eventually it'll either come out sideways as a reaction or a trigger and, like blowing up, or, whatever way that we emotionally deal with it once we repress it, or it can manifest as illness and physical, complications, injury, disease. All these things can happen if we're not dealing with our emotions. So it really is this time to reevaluate, reassess, feel into whatever it is we're feeling, allow the emotions to flow through and move through. And, if the conversation is needed because it does involve someone else, then by all means, this is a great time to have those heart to heart conversations. Now, we are moving into Leo season very, very soon. So, in a few days, this Mercury retrograde will be in Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun. Okay, so the sun is our vitality. The sun is our nervous system regulation. And so the sun is also, think of our greatest energy, like our expansiveness, our light. It's like bringing our light to the world. And Leo is all about stepping into our creative self-expression and really sharing who we are authentically and courageously and charismatic, right? That our charismatic behavior, right? It's like opening to who we are and showing the world who we truly are. And this is so perfectly aligned with the themes that are coming up in. I'm going to post a link to my last reading that I just did for the energy update for the week, which I do oracle readings every Wednesday. So yesterday I posted a reading and it was all around being authentic, who we truly are, by healing our family line and healing the coping mechanisms that we've adopted in childhood to operate in our family unit. So because Cancer season is also, it's like the home, it's the family, all of this ancestral stuff is coming up right now. So as we're moving into the retrograde in Leo, what a beautiful transition to move into, where it's like coming into the individual identity, right? Coming into who we are and coming into what makes me me and what is unique about my expression and what am I allowing the world to see? What am I sharing? How am I sharing my gifts and my unique voice and my expression, right? And in what way do I want to courageously serve? In what way do I want to show up in the world and be creative, right? Because creativity is one of the highest forms of expression. So this being a retrograde is actually a time to reflect inward on all of that, and being very mindful around, how we want to move forward and what will be the most aligned way for us to be in that creative self-expression. What things are we not doing right now that will help us to activate and inspire our creativity? Maybe writing helps you, maybe drawing or painting or playing with children, playing with either your children or friends or, siblings or whatever helps you to have more joy and more inspiration in your life. It's that playful, childlike nature coming in. And that was part of the reading as well. It's like, playing with children, being with children, watching them have joy and do their thing and be in the moment is like really an easy way for us to remember that lives within us too. And as we start to, wear all the adult hats, sometimes we forget in the seriousness of it all. And coming out of this full moon in Capricorn, which is releasing a lot of the karmic patterns that are, part of the picture that keep us in this seriousness, it's time to lighten up. It's time to be more playful. And that is part of the Leo energy. So even though a retrograde is, a time to rest and recalibrate and reevaluate the direction that we're going when it comes to creative self-expression, this time can also be a really great time to have more fun, to really be playful, to allow yourself to do things that, bring you joy. I remember growing up, and it's not something necessarily I would choose to do at this moment in time. Maybe if I was in the city that I grew up in, I would do this, but I'm not there presently. I remember loving going roller skating. Like that was just a fun thing. There was a roller rink with great music and it was just a fun time, right? So Maybe you want to do something that you did in your childhood that really brought you joy. I know also like shooting hoops, playing basketball, that brings me joy. That may be something I might go out and do at this retrograde time, right? It's just doing something that brings you back into a fun childlike nature, right? So find what that is for you. Maybe even it's dancing. Dancing's always a thing for me, but maybe go to a dance event, an ecstatic dance event. Five rhythms dance. There's so many different options out there. So do something at this time to really nourish your child, your inner child. And it is really about when I post that video, if you go back to it, it really is about being the mother, being the father to yourself, right? Being the nurturer, being the protector of the inner child so that the child feels really safe and supported to come out and play and to really shine and to be, at the forefront. So this is the time to take it easy, slow down, reflect on your creativity, your process, your expression, what you want to share with the world, and to bring fun and playfulness into your life at this time. So thank you so much for joining me on this video, and remember to subscribe for more updates. I again will post that link for the previous video so you can check it out. And thank you so much for being here. Sending you love and blessings. Until next time.